Why IGA matters in modern GRC. In today's hybrid digital enterprise, identity has become the new security perimeter. Identity Governance and Administration, or IGA, is the strategic control layer that ensures access across cloud and on prem environments is not only functional but compliant, auditable, and risk aligned. Within a governance, risk, and compliance framework, IGA serves as the system of record that proves who has access, why they have it, who approved it, whether it remains appropriate, and when it was last reviewed. It transforms identity from a technical IT process into a measurable enterprise risk control. IGA's role in governance, risk, and business enablement. IGA plays three simultaneous roles within a mature GRC program. First, from a compliance perspective, it ensures entitlements in scope for regulations are governed according to defined policy standards. Second, from a risk management standpoint, it provides visibility into excessive privileges, segregation of duties conflicts, orphaned accounts, and insider risk exposure. Third, from a business enablement angle, it streamlines access provisioning so employees receive justified access efficiently while maintaining governance guardrails. IGA therefore balances control and productivity. Strategic distinction: IGA versus IAM. While often used interchangeably, IAM and IGA serve distinct functions. Identity and Access Management, or IAM, is the runtime enforcement engine. It answers the question: can this user access this system right now? IGA, by contrast, governs the lifecycle and accountability of that access. It answers: should this user have this access and why? IAM manages the door and ensures the key works. IGA manages the keys, ensuring users only possess the keys they are entitled to, and that those entitlements are periodically validated and documented for audit evidence. Why regulators and auditors depend on IGA? Regulatory mandates increasingly require structured, provable access governance. For publicly traded companies under SOX ITGC, IGA provides segregation of duties controls to ensure no single individual can both initiate and approve sensitive financial transactions. For HIPAA, it enforces minimum necessary access to protected health information and produces documented approval trails. For PCI DSS, it demonstrates strong identification and authentication controls over cardholder data environments. Privacy regimes such as GDPR and CCPA demand evidence that only authorized individuals access personal data. Without IGA, these compliance requirements become manual, error prone, and difficult to defend during audits. Alignment to security frameworks. Beyond statutory regulations, IGA aligns directly with control frameworks such as NIST Cybersecurity Framework and ISO 27001. These frameworks require least privilege, periodic access reviews, identity lifecycle management, and timely deprovisioning upon termination. IGA operationalizes these mandates by automating joiner mover lever processes, enforcing access certifications, and generating evidence packages for auditors. In essence, it bridges policy intent and technical enforcement. Core components of an effective IGA program. A full-featured IGA program includes identity lifecycle management, automated access request workflows, business approval routing, access certification and attestation modules, provisioning connectors to on-prem and SaaS applications, policy and role management for RBAC models, and structured reporting with audit trails. Advanced capabilities often include segregation of duties modeling, risk scoring, machine identity governance, entitlement discovery, and integration with SIEM and PAM systems. These capabilities ensure access decisions are not isolated events, but governed processes. Segregation of duties and least privilege as risk controls. Two foundational principles of IGA are segregation of duties and least privilege. Segregation of duties prevents toxic combinations of access that could enable fraud or abuse. Least privilege ensures users receive only the permissions necessary to perform their tasks. Through periodic certification campaigns and entitlement analytics, IGA identifies overpermissioning, dormant accounts, and risky privilege accumulation. These mechanisms directly reduce insider threat exposure and audit risk. Emerging industry trends in IGA. The IGA market is evolving rapidly. Leading platforms are incorporating AI driven governance to provide predictive access recommendations and anomaly detection. Non human identity governance now extends to service accounts, robotic process automation bots, APIs, and IoT devices. Low code orchestration enables faster workflow customization without heavy engineering. Identity fabric architectures unify disparate identity tools into a cohesive governance layer. Identity threat detection and response, or ITDR, integrates behavioral analytics to identify active identity misuse in real time. The trend is clear. Governance is becoming intelligent, continuous, and risk aware. Industry vendor landscape. The vendor landscape reflects this evolution. SailPoint is often considered the enterprise gold standard for complex lifecycle governance. Saviynt offers a cloud native platform integrating governance with privileged access. CyberArk, including its SaaS governance acquisitions, focuses on unified human and machine identity security. Manage Engine provides strong Active Directory centric capabilities. Lumos and other modern SaaS first vendors emphasize app governance and license optimization. Selection depends on organizational complexity, regulatory exposure, hybrid environment requirements, and integration maturity. IGA implementation strategy. A GRC team overseeing IGA should begin with risk identification and baseline assessment, collaborating with HR, IT, security, and audit to define scope and regulatory obligations. Next, establish governance philosophy, ensuring identity risk is treated as a business risk, not merely an IT issue. Define role based access control models, segregation of duties matrices, and certification cadences. Automate joiner mover leaver workflows with strict deprovisioning SLAs. Configure certification campaigns and evidence reporting templates aligned to audit requirements. Insider threat mitigation and continuous governance. Finally, integrate IGA with insider threat detection mechanisms. Combine identity data with user behavior analytics to detect anomalies such as privileged escalation, excessive data access, or activity during resignation periods. Establish key risk indicators, including certification completion rates, orphaned accounts, privileged access exposure, and SLA adherence, and report them to executive leadership. Governance is not a one time implementation, it is a continuous risk management discipline. When executed properly, IGA transforms identity from a vulnerability into a measurable, defensible control pillar within enterprise risk management.